Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm with Joe today. Joe has convinced me to do a tier list with him of 11th Doctor's era because he's
A
appropriately
finer
dressed
time.
for an 11th Doctor tier list. So, yes, why not? And we've got our tiers here, I should say, as well. So, top tier, bow ties are cool. Then the next one down, the kind of the good one, or very good, Geronimo. The middle average one, every life is a pile of good things and bad things. Then we have bad beans, and stick it in the Pandorica for the worst of the worst. We've got 44 episodes here. It's sorted them, hasn't it, as like two-parters, as two parts. So everything's there individually. And I guess we'll just work this out as we go in terms of how it works. I suppose we'll have to find a place that suits both of us to stick each episode on the list. But I don't think we're going to have any trouble with our first episode, the 11th Hour, because that is going straight to the top, isn't it?
No, Geronimo. I think it's
Wow.
a very good episode, but I do not think
Crikey.
it's S tier.
Oh my god. I'm going to have
Yes.
to take a moment just to process that. I mean, it's the best. It's the best opener. It's the best post-regen
It's a good
story.
opener.
I'll admit, it's got stuff that's not aged very well with, like, well, even at the time, the whole kissogram thing.
Get a girlfriend, Jeff.
Peculiar. Although that's quite funny because there are different ways you can read that scene, can't you? Like, oh, he's a nerd, or he's a bit of a weirdo, or both.
Or the Doctor's a homophobe. Take your pick.
yeah, very true, very true. There are multiple interpretations there. Oh gosh, okay. Well, am I going to let you have that?
No, you're not. I don't think you are. You
I
can
don't think I
stick it
can.
in S.
I don't think I can. Okay, it's in S. Okay, the Beast Below then. So a weaker episode. Are you not as fond at all of this one? Anything positive for you?
Here's a thing about Beast Below. I really like the ending with Amy, where she talks about the beast to the Doctor and then says, all that age and misery, and in the end, it just made it kind. I really like that scene. So I think it isn't Stick It in the Pandorica. I don't think it's bad beans. But I put it in every life is a good pile of... every life
get behind that, yeah.
Is a pile of good things and bad things. I know people hate it, but I don't think it's as horrendous as some of the later stuff.
No, I think that's fair. Let's stick it in the middle tier.
I will admit, though, his scene where he shouts at Amy, it kind of breaks character. You know, where he slams the table and he has that
bit of a weird one, isn't it? Yeah, it's and I suppose it's kind of they're wanting to show the
darker
reason
elements
for having the companion there, and like to justify, and you know, this is why the Doctor travels with a companion. Perhaps it goes a little bit too far. I mean, some of the
kill
thing with
everything
Shooty
on one.
recently and in Stella, you know, a little bit kind of unnecessarily. I don't know, like he's enjoying himself a bit too much, perhaps. Okay, Victory of the Daleks then.
Stick it in the Pandorica.
No, I've got a soft spot for this. I've got a soft
Terrible.
spot.
It's an awful, god-awful story.
No, I like it.
Take the iconography away of the Daleks. There's nothing there. The plot is the Dalek rebuilding their army. That is it.
I suppose it's one of those stories where the first 50 minutes or so are literally just building to that reveal, isn't it? So I guess that's a bit redundant. I like the iconography. I like the
Paradigm Daleks had nothing to do with it. Like, they didn't get anything to do in the entire era. They were set up here. Nothing. It's just set up. It's like a two-part finale.
This one. I mean, at the time, it was exciting.
I'll let you stick it mid-ground. It's not in Geronimo.
I mean, for me, no, I wouldn't say Geronimo. I think I'm going to put it there. Personally, yeah. Get used to it. Time of Angels. I mean, first two-parter, do we do these kind of together or not? I mean,
no.
Time of Angels is the stronger half, I think I would say. Would you say
I
that? Or
put it
would you
in
disagree?
Geronimo, Time of Angels. I think the way the Weeping Angels are executed and that brilliant reveal with, is it the Appalachians?
Yes, the
Or is it,
two-headed. Yeah,
yeah, they have two heads. That reveal is fantastic.
it
And
is.
it's only part two when they start doing that weird moving shit. So I think stick it in Geronimo.
So where would you put Flesh and Stone?
I do have to admit, and this is an unpopular opinion of mine, I think the Weeping Angels, apart from the mystique of how they move, being destroyed in Flesh and Stone, I think this story is actually better than Blink because the Doctor is in it.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the opposite kind of thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that says, oh, they should have left them alone. I think unlike a recent returning entity, they do actually build on it, and they add things in, yes they change things around to make them more practical, and give them different things to do. But yeah, I think it's just kind of a great blockbuster story overall. I mean, with Flesh and Stone, it's obviously really that final scene that kind of lets it down, or it doesn't play out in the way that it might have done. It's not quite, as good as it could have been, or well, that's putting it mildly and kindly. But I think, so we agreed Time of Angels is the stronger half?
Yes, definitely. That's in Geronimo. I'm very firm on setting that in Geronimo.
I'll let you... Oh, can I let you have
I don't
that?
know if you'd go as high.
I think I go higher. I'm tempted to put it in the top.
No. We've got so many more. We've got to be picking with this.
I will
we
let
can keep
you
it
have
there
that
for now.
I'll let you have it for now. And then Flesh and Stone, middle, do we think? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
better than all two of those.
Yeah,
definitely.
okay, go on then. And they can stay together there, can't they? Vampires of Venice.
Bad beans. I don't know what your opinion.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't care for it.
It's a bit forgettable. It's the whole thing with him on the roof, the spire at the end with the CGI
Ridiculous.
storm is kind of slightly, and the massive music. Well, it's a good track actually from Murray. It's a good track, but it's very dramatic, and it's one of those things where he presses a switch and then everything, the sun literally comes back out again. And I think Helen McCrory, is that her name? I think she's great as the Rosanna, the female vampire.
But they could have given her a role like the Rani. Just something. They should have done more with her. She's an incredible actress, especially against Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I just think as Big Fish Mummy, she kind of doesn't get a lot to do.
And they go back over the Time War stuff as well again, don't they? Which is a bit weird. But then they also kind of they look slightly forward, I suppose, with the silence stuff. There's a lot of that, our planet was lost to the silence, which I don't know, how does that work in hindsight? I'd have to think about that. Maybe with the TARDIS exploding, or I don't know. I suppose go on then. Let's do Bad Beans. Just have something in there. Amy's Choice, S tier.
I knew you were going to say this. I think
I'll
Amy's
admit.
Choice.
Go on, yeah.
Bad Beans.
What? Oh my god.
I really don't like Amy's Choice. I find it boring. I fall asleep halfway through. The Doctor gets stuck in a butcher's at some point. A lot of kids get killed.
I do admit,
the village
I
stuff
think
is very
it's probably more than the sum of its parts. If you just look at little snapshots, some old people in a village, or some castle ruins, the butchers, like you say, and
Rory dies for the first in a million times.
Yeah, and the twist is predictable, I guess.
Yeah.
Although as a kid, I'm not sure. I think I still got stuff from it. And Toby Jones is great.
I'll let you not have it in Bad Beans, so you can either have it in Mid or Geronimo. But it goes at the bottom of Geronimo.
Okay. I'll settle. I will settle for that. The Silurian two-parter, our next two-part story. I've got a soft spot for this. I will say. There are people that can say, "Oh, it's it's all the stuff that Chibnall got wrong in his own era, like just before his own era came around, or like you can see all the, I don't know, the things that he would do, the patterns in his writing, the tropes, and other people as well say, oh, it's just like retreading the Silurians in the classic series. But number one, the Silurians is a good story. Number two, there's not a lot different that you can do with the Silurians in terms of the race. And that old, like, by the time this came out, the Silurians are like 40 years old, so I don't really agree with that. But what are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's a one-part story dragged into two parts. I think there's an awful lot of nothing.
The cliffhanger's a bit naff, isn't it? It's like...
yeah. Other than tension with Amy getting like pulled in underground.
It's a great image.
There's just like not a lot going on in that episode. So do I think the second part's better?
Well. Set in 2020.
I wouldn't stick it in bad.
No, I'd be happy to kind of put it middle of the road, probably. Yeah, not Geronimo. I'd probably put, the Hungry Earth. Maybe kind of equal to Victory for me. I don't know. Maybe should we stick it there? And then Cold Blood, probably the same tier, but kind of. Should we have one either side of Victory? Maybe does that work? Okay,
that's fair enough.
Vincent and the Doctor. Are we considering putting this anywhere else than the S tier?
No, I will give Vincent and the Doctor one thing, but Vincent and the Doctor is better than 11th Hour. Just the way it delves into Vincent's depression.
Yes, I'll
being a more character-felt story,
and it holds up better, and it's as a standalone thing as well, as a piece of art. Okay, that was easy. Great. The Lodger.
I don't.
I need to rewatch this actually because I don't really know what I think. I know a lot of people are negative about it because the people involved, both in front of and behind the camera. I'm not going to say anywhere higher than Bad Beans, really. Yeah, probably.
Because
I know
it's later on.
Which side?
But I don't get the link to the Silence and the Lodger here. I feel like they just reused the set.
I think this takes place supposedly after the Impossible Astronaut Day of the Moon, maybe, or maybe it's whether I suppose it's the same ship. Is it the same ship or not, or do they have multiple ships? If it's the same ship, then I think the thinking is it starts off in the 60s, then somehow comes to like 2010 Colchester.
It's a great set.
And
don't get me wrong,
it looks amazing, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's like a crap TARDIS, but it's just like. I don't get the plot of an autopilot, like just going a bit haywire. I think it's a bit repeated from, what they did with the Clockwork droids, but just the hologram instead of...
like malfunctioning technology.
Malfunctioning software.
So do we think, which order for these two, Vampires and Lodger? Any strong feelings?
I think I enjoy the Lodger more than Vampires of Venice.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
I think it's got its humorous moments. Like, I have to admit... even though I absolutely detest, and I mean detest James Gordon, I think he's a monumental TWAT. I think him and Matt have some really good comedic moments within this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So, I suppose
before he became a TWAT.
Yeah. The question now is, do any of the next 4 or 5 episodes belong anywhere other than S tier, or maybe below if we're negotiating? I don't know. What do you reckon? Pandora opens.
Do you
not like it?
I put it mid.
Really? Wow.
I think Big Bang is stronger of the two.
It's interesting. Okay. Because I remember as a kid always being slightly disappointed by the way that it's like, you have this big universe ending thing and the climax and the cliffhanger, and then it's like, oh, Amelia in a museum. But I suppose as I've got older, I've appreciated the kind of the character stuff there more in Big Bang.
I think
Wow, okay.
Pandorica has like the show of Matt Smith doing the whole "I am talking,"
Mm.
and it's a bit like that's a great speech. Don't get me wrong; it's probably his defining Doctor moment of that series. However, it's surrounded by a lot of slog. It takes them a while to get underground. When they get underground, they only face a Cyberman. You know, it's a bit Rory's suddenly alive again. I'm just a bit like rolling my eyes at it. At
Interesting.
least with Big Bang, it's got a bit more going on. You know, it's a bit faster paced and it's a bit like, right, I'm going
So
to die in a
where would
certain
you
amount of
put Big
time.
Bang?
I think Big Bang is
Geronimo?
bow ties are cool.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, I was looking at this list and thinking we've been quite basic so far. It'd be good to have some controversy in there. So Pandora Opens can go here.
Above all that other rubbish.
What do you think about Above Time of Angels?
Yeah, definitely.
You've just been slagging it off, though.
I know, but it has that speech in it.
No, I'm going to stick it there. I'm going to stick it there. And then people can fight us in the comments. It's Christmas Carol, that's S tier, right?
Yeah, above
Yeah.
Vincent and the Doctor. That's
Okay,
a
interesting.
really good episode. Best Christmas special they've done,
It is.
hands down. They will never get bigger than this.
Okay, yeah. I
I
mean,
love all the time travel elements, like mixing
It's
that
very,
with the
very
story
clever.
of Scrooge. It's brilliant.
it is fantastic. Yeah. There are some, I don't know, some slight things with it. I suppose the autonomy of the characters and how he just makes these decisions for them on their behalf, kind of thing. But that I suppose the story does at least address that, doesn't it? So I'm not criticizing it, but it is something I kind of notice more as I kind of watch it again. That it is, I suppose that's an assumption it makes that that's kind of like an okay thing to do, or like it's okay for him to have that power, kind of thing. But to be honest, that's a whole other video maybe. So I do nevertheless love it, and I'm happy to put it there. I think it's going to be near the top of the era, I think.
As a
Personally
whole,
speaking,
definitely.
yeah.
Also, he gets his best tweed jacket. I'm sorry. He gets this. Well, admittedly, it doesn't. Fun fact.
At this point, without the elbow pads, right?
Yep, because
Yeah.
they had them for Series 6, which is...
There we
See,
go.
he knows his stuff. He's educated. That is a future video coming to the Richard Lloyd
Yes.
YouTube channel.
Because
a whole breakdown on all the Series 6 costume.
The figure, I think from memory, the Christmas Carol figure has the sculpted elbow pads, but they're not painted, I think.
Yeah.
To kind of tie in with that.
That
So
kind
that's-
of tiger stripe was their first attempt at
It
this.
was an attempt at it, wasn't it? And then they did it
But it
once,
didn't
and
work.
they thought never again. And just went to like a generic brown colour for everything else, which, yeah, I don't know. So, the Series 6 opener, any criticisms here, or is it just going to straight to the top end?
I think it's top of Geronimo. I think it's good. But I think the setup of the death's good, but it's almost too good in retrospective of how the payoff works for it.
Okay, so
Now we
considering
have
where it goes
incomplete.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Day of the Moon stronger, I will admit.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say the opposite, maybe. Although I don't think there's loads between them. Oh gosh. Well, I definitely want to put one of them in the top tier, at least. I mean, we've already
I'll let you
done
have
one
Day of the Moon in the top tier.
Crikey. I mean, people are going to be in the comments. They're going to be like, "What the hell?"
I think it's really good.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Shall we stick it there? And then
I
Impossible
think it's better than
Astronauts.
11th Hour. Oh, that's really pushing my luck.
Just to be controversial, let's do it. An Impossible Astronaut. So somewhere here, I think
I'll let you place it.
there's a nostalgia of this. Like it was just so cool at the time.
Doctor
And the
in
silence,
America.
and it was like the last time we'd had like a properly
Toys
good new
everywhere.
monster, like in the silence as well. Like they launched a series with a great new monster, which it's not a bad
Very
idea.
rare.
It works quite well. I should try doing that again. Curse of the Black Spots. Well, this is one of two stories actually coming up in this series, which, going back to what you were saying about the malfunctioning tech thing, it happens here.
So, fun fact, this is the episode that switched because they
with Night
mentioned
Terrors.
pocket universes in this, about being in a pocket universe prior, because they're in a pocket universe for the Doctor's wife, when they're outside of the universe.
Is it going to come after Doctor's Wife?
In
Doctor's
the running
Wife
order,
number 3?
Because Night Terrors was supposed to be earlier and was moved to the second half, because I think Night Terrors might have been shot in the first block or second block.
And they showed it in the trailers, didn't they? Like the Peg dolls, we saw them very early on. Yeah,
as simple as
because Doctor's Wife was going to be in series 5 at one point, wasn't it? Like, was that going to be instead of the Lodger in an episode 11 slot?
Because the console was designed for series 5 by that Blue Peter.
Because the competition, that's right. Yeah, it took place earlier than the episode, well, obviously, but like much earlier. So, Curse of the Black Spots. Bad beans? Or lower?
Nah, I think stick it in the Pandora. I think it needs going back into the pocket universe it came from. So bad.
Doctor's Wife.
See, I'm conflicted on this.
I've always never quite got... I get it more recently than I did as a kid. The iconography, brilliant. Junk's TARDIS, nephew and stuff. I think I just always found it's something about the way it's written always felt a bit impenetrable and a bit weird, which is it's of that writer's style and their other work, but you can see why it's like that. But I don't know. I think I've always found it a bit pretentious as well, and the love for it, like a bit like fans exalting it, a little bit weird.
Also, as it's aged, I don't know whether you're going to put this bit in, given the stuff that's come out about Neil Gaiman and the controversy and the certain actions of what's been accused.
Oh, the actual stuff in the episode, yeah.
Considering he is the writer, it's a bit like J.K. Rowling in a way. Whether can you remove the art from the person who's directly? You get what I mean?
I hadn't actually thought. I mean, I thought of that in general sense, yeah, but not in terms of the specific moment. I mean, now you say that, yeah, the stuff with like kissing and biting, yeah. Oh, God, okay.
I don't think it's a terrible episode. It's got a really nice premise, but it's with that baggage. I think it has to go at the bottom of mid. Because I used to really enjoy it before all that came out.
Yeah,
but then you can't really support that behaviour.
I think that's fair. Gang of two-parter. I always had a bit of a soft spot for this. I think I've gone back to it since and thought actually it's a little bit dull. I mean, it's very grey. It's very kind of like dull to look at. It's not a colourful story.
It's set up, that's its problem. It's a two-parter that's just set up for the finale is my issue with it. Because that's what he's there to investigate the gangers to work out what's going on with Amy. Yeah. And 2 parts dedicated to that.
It's a cool through line, but which would you say is the stronger half?
I think almost people, because the thing is, what I really wanted from this story when I look back on it, I wanted that debate where if you create life and you've got these creatures that have been made to live, to die, where does that sit on a moral compass? And I think the second half delves into that more. And then the Jennifer gang are turning into a monster as a result of retaliation works really well. It's just the creature looks a bit shit. But
it does, although I think there's a kind of uncanny valley thing with it. Like, my sister was always terrified of it, to be fair.
I think, the bit in the toilet cubicle where a head comes out and it's like a snake.
Yeah.
I think that's
before
really
she becomes the proper creature,
big T-Rex thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some moments where it kind of misses the mark with the effects. Although, again, I think it sort of gets away with the weirdness, the kind of uncanniness of it. I don't mind it as much as other people there. Somewhere near Beast Below, perhaps? Do we think before or after that?
After.
Maybe one either side.
No, before. Yeah. Actually, one either side.
Okay, we'll do that then. We'll do that. We're consistently ranking the second parts higher than the first, which, that's probably your influence. But, like, I'm looking forward to seeing, how people get on with that in the comments. Good Man Goes to War. Are we S-tiering this?
Is it that good? It's good.
I will actually agree with you there. I'll agree with you there. Slightly. It was always very exciting as a kid. It's another one of those in hindsight where, it's kind of a setup thing, or like it's setting things up to get to a certain point, like the fall of the Doctor kind of thing. River's only in it for the final 5 minutes, and then it kind of switches a gear, and it's all just about her reveal, and it's like, and then they dump the reveal at the end, and it's like, oh, by the way, we're off now for like 4 months, like see you later in the year kind of thing. So yeah, or actually I suppose it was more like 2 months or 3 months. It probably wasn't that long a wait, but I think with this,
the revelation falls a bit flat.
Maybe we mid-tier it,
because the thing is, even as a kid, you could spot it a million miles away, because in Series 5 she says, I killed a very good man. And then the something said an impossible astronaut. And at that moment, I was like, well, she's the astronaut.
And I think it's when you see Melody regenerating at the end of Dead Moon as well. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm certain now that's what it's going to be.
Are you thinking between Pandorica and Time?
I think somewhere like that, yeah.
I'll let you have that.
Somewhere like that. Now, Let's Kill Hitler. My hot take on this is going to be that it's not actually that bad.
Oh, gosh. This is where it all starts to go wrong.
And I think actually I deserve it to our viewers to throw in a bit of a curveball. I'm not going to rank it highly, but I'm not going to say, by the way, either that it pays off, Good Man Goes to War and all that, the cliffhanger and everything, well, either, because it's completely like random, and you can tell Moffat was just like making it up as he went along with Mel's and all that kind of lovely stuff. But I don't know, I remember watching it not too long ago and thinking, actually, for all the laughable moments and for all the goofiness of it, it's quite clever actually how the Let's Kill Hitler thing, the idea of like a grandfather paradox, plays into the broader thing of like the silence killing the Doctor. It's like a little parallel there. Little parallel there.
Let that slide.
It's it's not something
you're
that would
comparing
strike you.
Shop brand Coca-Cola to Coca-Cola, but sure.
Well, it was the inspiration. It was the inspiration for it, I suppose, in the loosest sense, kind of. That there's something in that. To be honest, I don't even know what I'm saying myself, but I remember noticing that and thinking, oh, okay, that's actually there's something there.
One positive. He gets
Costume?
a very nice green coat.
Yes.
That gets abandoned for some reason after Series 6.
And I've seen people more recently slagging off that coat, and as a kid, it was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing. I loved it. So Let's Kill Hitler, I think... Do you think... Shall we stick it...
Top of Bad Beans if you're really desperate.
Bad. Go on then. Let's do that. I'm moving it around. Right, and then Night Terrors, which we've touched on already.
I'll put a bullet in my head. I hate this story. I really hate it. That kid needs killing. They just need to drop him out of the window.
See, I'm going to continue my soapbox moment about Series 6 Part 2, I think. I mean, I don't dislike it as much as everybody else does. No way.
He's so irritating. That kid. I don't even know what his name is. He's just that kid.
Is it Jamie or is it the actor? Oh, I don't know. The Tenser. The Tenser.
All I remember is he's scared to death of everything.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
Also, it's weird this comes after Let's Kill Hitler. And it says, we put all the bad things in the cupboard, and Hitler gets put in a cupboard.
Oh my god. Would you stick it in the Pandorica?
Yeah. I think it's worse than Curse of the Black Spot. Wow. Genuinely.
So whichever episode they pick to go in that slot, it wouldn't have been any better.
No. I'll let it
I've put Let's Kill Hitler.
Beans. Yeah.
Crikey. People are going to think, what is he smoking, putting Let's Kill Hitler above it? But
Listen, I said put that in bottom tier, but you didn't believe.
It's done now, isn't it? Yep. Right, Girl Who Waited. I might actually continue my my trajectory here in the sense, but in the opposite sense. And actually, I don't think this is as good as people say it is.
No, it's S tier. This is fantastic. Do not diminish this stuff. Do not start comparing this to Let's Kill Hitler and Curse of the Black Spot. Let's be sensible here.
It's just that it's like it's very inevitable what happens to the older Amy, and yes, okay, it works for a reason.
That's part of the tragedy, though, Richard.
It is. Yes, I'll give you that. I just think it's kind of a middle section where they just like sit down with the Rory bot, and it's a little bit dull, and it's a little bit like
that's
going
great.
Over the
The Rory bot's adorable.
No, he is, and he's. Yeah, I remember having the little Monster Invasion trading card, and like every single pack I got. But
it's annoying they never made a figure of that. That handbot thing would have translated. You could have had a Rory head, no hands, the gun face, the flippy chesty.
Oh, if only. I'm not going to say it's terrible. I don't. It's a bit like Doctor's Wife, I suppose. I don't quite get the love for it so much, or like I feel like it's a bit over loved.
I do feel, I will agree, Matt's put in his box a bit in this episode. I don't know if that was scheduling conflicts and he was doing something else like closing time or something.
I think that's like double banking, like I'm making
double banking.
It's a slightly Doctor Light one, yeah.
Where he's just put in the TARDIS, basically.
I would be happy with it. Bottom of Geronimo. Well, I might give you slightly higher actually, because I know you love it. Okay. Maybe.
Don't you dare put it
maybe there.
No.
Okay, there.
It's either top of Geronimo. If it's not in S tier.
Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. God Complex. This is one that I have actually grown to love a lot more since I was a kid.
Really?
I think as a kid I found it. Yeah. Well, I've not watched it recently. But, like, I've certainly got more from it as I've got older. I think as a child I found it straight. I like just a bit weird. Like, it's a Minotaur in a hotel.
My problem with God Complex is, once again, and it's this thing that I keep repeating, the Doctor is just a bloke who travels around the universe and happens to see something's a bit of a party. It all kicks off, he saves the day.
Yeah.
This really plays in to that factor of, the Doctor is space Jesus, because it all boils down to Faith being the reason. Like, I get Faith is the reason this creature feeds off.
Yes.
But it like Amy having that faith in him nearly gets her killed, which is nice. But it's once again like turning him into this mythological, where I quite like my Doctor Who, very straight, very to the bone. Just this is a bloke doing things for the right reasons because that's what he does, not because he's this important figure.
Well, I think this
mid
Geronimo.
Okay,
it's going Geronimo. It's gonna go. I think it can go there. So, closing time. Do you feel the same about this as you do towards the Lodger?
I think it's worse than the Lodger. Because it has a baby in it. And what we've established about episodes with babies in is they are terrible.
Oh, but he's Dark Lord Stormageddon. He's...
What is it with Doctor Who and babies, man? This guy should be like on some sort of register.
Look, I think I actually probably prefer this to Lodger, just for the iconography of the Cybermen and like the creepy shopping centre and all that.
They do nothing with them.
No, but they bring the Cybermats back, or like one single Cybermats. And again, it's doing that thing which both these stories do, which is like shining a different light on the Doctor's character, the 11th Doctor's character. I think there for that one, personally.
I'll let it slide.
Because I don't mind the kill them with love thing as much as everybody else in this particular instance.
In addition, if you put anything below Let's Kill Hitler, anything else, I think we're going to get like killed.
Oh, okay, yes, but are we going to do that? I don't know.
There's a strong
maybe.
contender coming next, actually. So,
Oh, right up next, straight away. No,
but I'll let you have you two.
Since Let's Kill Hitler, I don't mind this as much as other people do. I don't dislike it as much. It's a bit kind of It's like the whole thing with him being a soothsayer. Like, he's literally Jesus in this one. He's in the robes and the beard. And that's a bit weird. And with Churchill as well, like they would not do that now. And like in a Roman building, it's like, what is going on with the Silurian? Bit kind of crazy, bit like just run with it.
Yo, Stephen Moffat had a hell of a party and took some great pills. He was popping some time travel pills.
With Amy and Rory, like the alternate versions of them as well. It's a little bit weird. Like, okay, we get it. Like, just use the actual versions of those characters. Like, anyway.
Also, Smith's hair's weirdly long. He shaves his beard off, and he keeps
the
mullet.
Yeah.
Was that something that they were going to just keep for Series 7? Mullet time.
God knows. I think this tier somewhere there, maybe? Or top?
See, I'd say Vampires of Venice. I'm starting to rethink my decision.
Right down there?
Yeah, and then I'd move Vampires of Venice on top of Closing Time.
Wow, that's tough. It's too late now. I think because these two are very similar, Let's Kill Hitler and Wedding. I think I'm going to stick it there.
All right,
then,
I'll allow it.
Yeah, just hopefully that's a bit controversial. Doctor with a wardrobe. You see, again, I don't mind it as much as other people, but I'm not going to defend
Abhorrent.
it. To the hell because it's not the best thing ever, is it? So,
coming off Christmas Carol, you've then got whatever the hell this is. 3 people.
Are we sticking it in the Pandorica? Are we bookending this tier list with Christmas specials?
I like the scene where Marge breaks down and says, I don't want to see the night he dies. That's its only redeeming. That's its only redeeming factor, and the whole dark thing about telling her kids their dad's dead on Christmas Day. Nice Doctor Who, thanks for that. But is it better than Curse of the Black Spot? It's hard picking between two shit stories, isn't it?
I feel like it would be more controversial if we put it above Curse of the Black Spot. So should we do that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's get people to
right. Onto the home stretch now. Asylum of the Daleks. Where do we sit with this?
Now, if it was Asylum of the Cybermen,
Asylum of the Cybermen that say that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I think that's like that whole thing is overstated. Like, it works for the Daleks. Like, it's not that big a deal. It would have been better with Cybermen, probably. But...
Daleks are insane. They are.
Oh, here we go.
Like, they're insane anyway. That's going to be a great clip. Even insaner Daleks doesn't make sense. If they became a liability, Daleks being functionally...
But hey,
Daleks being functionally would just exterminate all these things because they're rogue. They exterminate anything indifferent. This story does not make any sense in any premise.
Stephen Moffat's approach to the Daleks, isn't it? I mean, it's
awful.
Yeah.
So it needs to go bottom. Genuinely.
Very bottom.
Yeah.
Surely not. We can't do that. I think
the Oswin
I don't love
is nice.
I don't love it.
Which doesn't lead to anything, but
the divorce thing actually as well is god awful. That's like, actually enough to weigh it down further for me.
Delving into that, so you're telling me they got a divorce because Rory was trying it on too much and becoming a bit weird about wanting a kid, and Rory didn't just go, oh yeah, fuck it, we can't have a kid, we'll just adopt or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a bit messy, the message, isn't it?
It's like it's conflict for conflict's sake, just to kind of do something interesting with the pawns or like to do something different with them. Yeah, it doesn't work,
and it's written horrifically.
So
it should have been
there.
If they were going to do that, that divorce should have been the first half of the series, and the tragedy should have been in Time of Angels.
Yeah,
one of them should have died. So therefore, they never got back together. But I brutally write Doctor Who, so
they would never have done that. Right. Do we? I think the divorce thing. I think I would put it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs on a spaceship. I don't
Oh,
dislike it. I don't
God.
particularly love it.
I don't remember a single thing about it.
I like the
The only
callback to the
thing,
Silurians. That's really nice. That stuff.
the only thing that comes up about this one is
David
that
Bradley's great.
the
Oh
Doctor
yeah,
tries it on with Rory.
Do we just continue the trend of, consecutive episodes? Doctor Widow, Asylum, and the next you have dinosaurs. Because I don't think it's stick it in the Pandorica bad.
I'll allow it.
Do I?
It's bad, but it's really bad, but I'll allow it.
I'm wondering or do I need to leave space in Bad Beans for stuff coming up? That's the trouble. Oh, go on. I'm going to do that. Right. Town Called Mercy. You really love this, don't you?
I think it's great.
I think a bit like the God Complex. It's one that I've grown in appreciation for over the years.
I like that it's got a mirroring aspect to the Doctor.
It's another one that kind of plays into your... Well, not the Jesus thing, but the kind of God Complex character of the Doctor. The kind of the Doctor is a bit of a...
Well, but it turns it on its head. Because he thinks he's saving everyone, but he's doing the wrong thing. And he gets grounded on it.
Yep.
So it takes it in a different direction. He gets put in his place in this one, which I quite like. And there's not that much of this in Smith's era. There's not too much of him getting,
interesting,
grounded, in my opinion. So I'd put it bottom of S. I don't think it's as good as any of the other episodes. I wouldn't be exactly jumping to watch this.
I think there.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay. Right, we've got all of these still to get through. Now, Power of 3, so I'm going to fight for Power of 3.
Hot take. Power of 3 is really good for the first half an hour, but the last 15 minutes, bloody hell.
Yes, but it wasn't their fault. It was Stephen Burke's fault.
No, because wasn't it the Shakri man, or whatever he is?
And that, because of that, I'm kinder to it. And because of the first half as well. I think...
Also... I got a screen accurate Wii tennis racket, so therefore it's immediately in Geronimo.
I'm thinking middle tier for this probably. I'm thinking
middle.
What are you thinking? Lower.
Geronimo.
I'll allow it. Okay, yeah.
I think it's better than A Good Man Goes to War.
Wow, I like it. I don't know if I like it that much, but.
I think it's really good for their character development.
Yeah.
Especially considering what it leads into. For the Pom specifically.
Oh, go on then. Why not? Let's be controversial.
It's the first time in the new series I feel the Pons have really had, not the Pons, sorry, the companions themselves have had a penultimate story where it focuses on them before the tragic end.
That's very true.
Because... Yeah. Like with Rose, that's the only person you kind of get it with the Beast saying the girl who will die in battle very soon. Yeah. But that's it. This is like they're wanting to stop because they feel like
story. Yeah, a bit of development there.
Ultimately leads into tragedy.
And it's rare for him to have a contemporary Earth set adventure as well, isn't it? It's like a rare, slightly more RTD1-esque adventure in that regard. Right, Angels. Tell me what you're thinking with this.
Bad beans.
Really? Wow.
I think more could have been done with it. I think it should have been a two-parter. This is one of those stories where it could have done with a second part.
It's not perfect, but I like it more than most, I think. I think overall it kind of it's enough, or it does enough to kind of although having said all that, I do feel, and it's not something that gets talked about a lot actually, but I do feel that, particularly as I'm older now as well, having your companions, your main characters, jump to death off the side of a building is not great. And
really, it's fantastic, Rich. That's how all good writers.
It's a great visual, and it's a great, and obviously they don't actually they fall into the real timeline or something, so everything's okay, and that's not how they actually die.
But the fact it gets to that point, it's a little.
I just think that's a bit of a weird thing for this show. Yeah,
It's a bit Torchwood, isn't it, when you think about it, like in principle.
Yeah, because they are committing suicide. It's like it's just not not in great taste necessarily. It's very epic and very and other types of shows or film and stuff you could get away with it more. I think. Well, you said bad things, didn't you? I'm gonna go in mid. I'm gonna go.
Find the balancing point.
I put it there because there are some.
It's got good
things,
ideas,
like
but
the thing with the broken wrists. I mean, yeah, a lot of the things in there are nice ideas, but like some of it's becoming a bit tired by this point, or some of it feels a little bit rushed, or just not quite there. Right, the snowman.
The statue. Final thing on it. Also, the Statue of Liberty is made out of iron, not stone. So it being a weeping angel does not make sense because it's meant to be living stone.
That is true, but it's an irresistible idea, and they would have been stupid to not do it. That's my take.
It's made out of iron, though.
Yeah. Well, are weeping angels made out of stone? Really? Or are they made out of something?
But it literally says they are living stone in Blink. They freeze into rock. Iron isn't rock.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right. Snowman. Very magical story.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this one, to be honest. Obviously, it's between our other two, in the middle of our other two Christmas specials so far.
I'm going to say something really controversial.
Okay.
S tier.
Wow.
I think
it was
it's
going
his second.
Then. Okay.
I think it's his second best Christmas special.
It's inspired to make him the Scrooge character and kind of do that again. And
you've got Richard E. Grant.
Yeah.
Great villain. Great intelligence returns. And it's not directly referenced as the great intelligence. Matt Smith's kind of got a bit where he's like, have we met before? You know what I mean? It's not like forcing it down your throat, like bringing Omega back as a
flashbacks to the Yetis and the Himalayas. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. I think I will then, in that case, allow it to go there.
I think it's the first one that's it's set at Christmas. The villain is ice, but it's not set directly around Christmas, and the whole thing isn't, we're going to shoehorn this in as a Christmas special. I know it has snowmen, but the actual story, the way they're animated, isn't like a Christmas villain. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Or related to a Christmas story.
Yeah, the snowman stuff is really cool. It's a shame they weren't able to do more with them, but I think the props were quite problematic, weren't they? They looked a bit static or a bit now.
They were just statues, effectively.
It's a really nice touch as well, as I've appreciated this as I've got older, that it's called The Snowman. Like, that seems like a simple title, but with the first Great Intelligence story being the Abominable Snowman, it's a nice kind of subtle nod back to that. So I do like that. Bells of St. John.
Crikey.
This, for me, I mean, I think of it as being mid, kind of average, but I think it's below average. I think it's probably worse than that. It's not great.
Top of bad beans. It's harmless, but Clara, she's just boring.
Oh, you see, I'm
got
going to
stick
it, I think, there.
She gets sucked up by a computer.
Yeah.
Trapped in a laptop. Comes back. Is Twitter.
Yeah, and she doesn't know how to use computers until she does. And it's like, there's some weird stuff there.
Or partially saves the day.
With the plane as well. What's that about? I guess they're kind of going for like a thriller type thing. And there's some cool stuff. The stuff on location in London is nice. Like, is that the most, apart from another episode coming up, the most recent example of like on location stuff in London? Oh no, you've got Series 8 anyway with Capaldi, but like it's not something that they do as much these days. So yeah, like kind of going back to London and actual stuff in London. Well, I suppose Camden recently, but like that's slightly out of the centre.
That's like cheap London.
Having your landmarks and stuff is nice. Rings of Akaten. This is a story that I've kind of done multiple 180s on, I think, over the years.
I'm fascinated to see what you're going to say on this, because I know what my opinion is.
Interesting. You see, I think ultimately, the speech, for me, lets it down.
Finding Doctor moment.
No. Well, it could have been, but the delivery of it is just like, take it
I think
all,
it's great.
baby.
Well, yeah, but forget that a bit. Let's just pretend that bit's cut off.
Part of it.
Series 7, Matt Smith, there's some... it'll come up later, and specifically,
Yes.
which episode I'm going to mention is Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, and I think you'll know what scene I'm on about later.
At the very end, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even Crimson Horror as well with Jenny.
Oh, yeah. Right, we'll get into that. But
It's a weird trend around this time. But yes.
what is it with sexualizing this version of him where he's probably the most alien? Like, other than Eccleston, who is like plays it completely straight, but as in someone.
Yeah.
He doesn't do these sort of things, It's like when River first kisses him, he's awkward. He kind of doesn't hold himself. He's a.
Well, it was a different time. It was like the Tumblr era, wasn't it? They were kind of trying to appeal to, well, I suppose, to all, not to condone it, but like, was that part of the thinking? Or was it just like a Moffat thing that he couldn't really get away from to an extent as well? Like,
Man just needed to control himself. But I do. Now that you've said that, I think because the YouTube version of which is probably the speech I've re-watched, I think they probably cut that section off. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to stick it there. I'm going to keep up with the closing time, love. People will think, what on earth is he thinking? But there we go. Cold War. I feel like from this point on, kind of until the end of the list, really, the end of the era, they're just all a bit mid. This has some nice moments, but there's just a slightly weird thing. I don't know what it is, but with the writing of it, it just feels... And some of the dialogue as well, and the submarine with Clara, and...
You can tell at this point they haven't found their groove like Matt and Jenna.
Yeah.
They're still like Hyde, they're working out how to play it.
Or, yeah. Is it another Bad Beans, but kind of top end, do we think?
I think it's below Bells of St. John. I just find it... I think it's got a great subtext.
Wow,
it just does nothing with it. Nuclear war, great. You've got an alien that's going to launch a load of nuclear rockets, great.
I'll allow that. Hyde. I watched this fairly recently as well, I think, for Go Figure, when I was looking at because there's so many figures from this story from the 3.5-inch range.
Which is weird, isn't it?
And in the past, I've kind of gone, blown hot and cold with it. I think after that rewatch, I was left thinking it comes close to doing something quite good, but doesn't quite get there. I love the haunted house vibe of it and the way it looks and everything. The location.
The monster's just a bit shit. It should be a monster, not it's in love with its partner in a parallel dimension and we've got to launch a TARDIS to go save.
You do kind of wonder, what were they smoking with that? Like, what was the thought process?
And blood calling to blood through time regarding Bella Decorium. Have I got that right?
Hilla Decorium. Yeah, I don't know why I know that, but I do. Yes. I think with this... Does that suit you?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Would you put it lower?
Yeah, but I'll allow it.
Okay. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS.
Disappointing story below Curse of the Black Spot. Also, the Doctor weirdly does something where he slaps Clara's ass with a towel. Mate,
yes.
you need to be locked up and checked out for that because that is not consent.
Yes, totally. I think probably enough said, to be honest. I'm happy to put it at the bottom. I think sometimes I watch it back and I think, there is more to enjoy here than I remember. But it is one that is ultimately just a missed opportunity, forgettable, all those things.
Time beast.
You're going to do this
the time
story,
creatures or whatever they are. The distorted...
the zombies.
Clearly, the effect has been put on them to make them look somewhat better, for the limitations
to hide the
of the costume.
joins in the costume. Yeah. Oh my gosh. 5 stories. Crimson Horror is one that as a kid I really quite liked. And it's set in Yorkshire, so we should like it. But
no.
I think in hindsight it misses the mark a bit. But I still ultimately have a soft spot for it. I like the visual of Matt as the monster with the red face paint and stuff. I think that's quite effective still. And Mr. Sweet, love Mr. Sweets. Love seeing more of the Paternoster gang, in a prominent role. I would rank this at the higher end of Series 7, or Series 7B at least. I think I'd be tempted to maybe put it...
It's that Jenny kiss, though, that like really drags it down.
Yes, true, that's true.
Ooh. Once again, what is it with the Doctor? No means no.
I'm going to put it there. Hang on. There, I think. Slap bang in the middle. Yeah. Nightmare in Silver.
That could have been a really great 2-part story, but didn't they butcher it?
Yeah.
Also, is it another Neil Gaiman script?
It is, yeah.
Right, stick it in the bottom.
Yeah.
It's just bad, isn't it? Like,
very bottom.
I don't know, wait. It's better than Journey, isn't it?
You should put it there.
Yeah.
Name of the Doctor. Again, as a kid, I quite liked this. I'm not sure it holds up as well now because it is basically just 45 minutes of setup for the 50th, really. And the Clara thing is like dealt with in the first 5 minutes, but the first 2 minutes, because you basically know how she's going to save the day, or that she does save the day, what she was there for all along. It's got its moments, but I don't know. What do you reckon?
I think it's the best of Series 7, excluding the specials. Best of Series 7. So, also, I don't think the 11th Doctor weirdly has a sex pest moment in this. So, that in its own right puts it above anything else.
There, maybe.
I'd put it above Flesh and Stone.
Would you?
Above Flesh.
Oh.
Yeah. That cliffhanger with John Hurt, I'm sorry, is so good.
I'll let you have it. So, into the 50th anniversary itself, the Day of the Doctor, the big special that we got, is this S tier or lower?
Mid.
Really?
Top of mid.
Wow.
I don't think Day of the Doctor is as good people make count. It's better than 60.
I think it's difficult to gauge because it's one of those ones that I've seen loads of times that at the time and afterwards was getting talked about loads as well, and just like you couldn't kind of move for it, you couldn't escape it.
It's so dependent on itself as a series. I know it's a celebration.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're going to just repeat points, but actually show it on television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the actual scene you need to get to is the barn scene of him.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to get through.
Getting to that point, I will give you that. I think it is clever, though, in context, in terms of how Moffat managed to kind of tie together things from the Time War while looking forward. And I think it was kind of an impossible task. And I think in the circumstances, he did a pretty good job. But yeah,
I do think though,
it's not one that I kind of
Zygon
maybe it's just overexposure, but it's not something that I would go back to loads right now. Yeah,
Zygon subplot completely pointless.
Yeah,
like
it was just David Tennant, wasn't it? It was just to give him like a monster that he enjoys.
The Doctor knows what he did that day. He doesn't need a live representation of it. Zygons versus Unit.
It's difficult as well because it's not really very 11th Doctor-y. No. It's like it exists as its own thing almost.
Time Warp,
like
10th Doctor.
Compare this to Series 5. It's like it feels strange to have those side by side. Oh gosh, I think maybe top of Geronimo. I'm quite happy to just have those 5. I think in S. I think that's how it's staying. That's how it's staying. I think. I mean, well, unless you throw a real curveball in here, it's Time of the Doctor. Where do you sit with this?
I think it's really great fun. Considering,
have you always thought that?
Matt Smith was supposed to do Series 8. We know this. It's unofficially confirmed. Matt Smith was supposed to do another series, really wanted to stay for another series, and then they dragged Capaldi in. I think I think the only reason he kind of left was because of the ponds, because his era had kind of come to a close. So they
Yeah.
crammed all the Trenzalore stuff that would have seen a darker 11th Doctor into one story. And I think that's actually more of an impossible task than the 50th anniversary. It's getting all that story down.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job of it. And
I've definitely
I dare
warmed
say,
to it since it came out. There's stuff in there like the naked stuff, again like sexualized.
that's
elements,
a bit weird. Yeah,
which it's like, for the love of God, no. But there is also some really lovely stuff in there. The thing I always go back to now as I'm older is like seeing him there, like, entertaining kids in the town of Christmas on Trenzalore, and like the image of him like getting older and the older physical body and like being there with kids and all the children's drawings surrounding him in that room. It's like, oh my God, it feels like the finale to like a certain era, not just the 11th Doctor's era, but like the first 8 years of New Who, where it was
God.
really like not quite, no, we have just reviewed all of series 7, but like this is when the show was kind of positioning itself more as like a family/children's show.
before
And
it
after
becomes
this
more
point,
adult.
it kind of goes in a different direction, a more adult direction, or even just like a more fan-centric direction.
I
We start
think-
with like Space Babies, don't we, later on? But like there's a shift here, like particularly with Capaldi coming in, of like, oh, this is a very different direction now. Like you would not get him in a room surrounded by kids' drawings and fixing toys and stuff, really.
He'd be arrested for that. But I think with this, it ends on a really nice note of
It's one of the nicest regen scenes.
regeneration. It's
Yeah.
not treated as a death like an End of Time, because that is
Yeah.
absolutely appalling. That wrecked Matt's first series. It's treated as I'm
my
handing
God.
this over to the next guy, and he literally gave his watch to Peter
Yeah.
Capaldi because they only had one of them, and it was like a really solid moment
yeah.
of just being like, A, in the filming sense, and B, obviously narratively, it was a really nice way of handing over to the next era that was going to be new but
And
different.
it's the last, because I would agree, I think it's this and Jodie's are the top regen scenes for me. I think it is still a mess and a mixed bag. Like the Silencer in it, fair enough, but they've not been in it since Wedding a River Song. Like they come back after over a year away.
Yeah, but they're great. They're priests. It makes sense.
Yeah, oh, they are. Yeah, and it does make sense.
You need 2 lines of dialogue to explain that. It's fine.
I do agree, actually. People often say, oh, the stuff wasn't explained enough. But I think things like that, actually, it's fine. It
My
works.
issue with it, how did they get a bomb in the TARDIS to explode it? That's never explained, the TARDIS exploding.
That's two seasons before this. It's fine.
Too
It's
forgiving.
long ago at this point.
S tier, but bottom of S tier. That's where I'm sticking it.
I think... And I won't put it at the bottom. I'll give you,
It isn't
Oh,
better
okay,
than
actually,
Pandora
sod it,
for
I'll put it
openers.
there. No, I'm putting it there. Putting it there. Okay.
I think that's a good mix.
I think as a whole, then this year, I mean, obviously Series 5, I think we would both agree is the best series for him. It's my favourite series of the revival as well. It's like it's the best it's been.
It's not the
see,
best
I-
it's been. Series 1 is.
Each their own.
That's a video in itself. Series 1 versus
Versus
Series 5.
Yeah.
How
okay.
to start Doctor Who. How to restart. That is a video in itself.
We'll note it down. You see, I'm still quite fond of Series 6, I have to say. Even if, as we've gone through, the episodes haven't necessarily been the strongest. I think Series 7 deserves its reputation. It's a weird one because, like, there was always that end goal, that end point of Trenzalore and Silence Will Fall from the very first episode. Like, that date with Destiny is set. And kudos to Moffat for trying
to it.
something like that out, which hasn't been done since, really. Well, not at all. I don't think since. I suppose, things evolve along the way and they change naturally, and so by the time you get there, the time of the Doctor, for me, it just felt a little bit messy, a little bit like a weird mismatch of I suppose, where the show is at that point, but then also kind of harking back to the earlier stuff and trying to meld them together in a way that's cohesive. But yeah, I think ultimately I love the ambition of having that kind of that start point, that end point that are always fixed. And it's just a shame about Series 7, basically. I think that's all I can say on it, really. But I'm still nostalgic for this era. I mean, it was our childhood, wasn't it? But as well as Tennant. So,
what a time to have been alive. Doctor Who will never be this good again. And I accept that. This show isn't made for me anymore. What we had was good for the first 5 series. And afterwards...
We've stuck over half of the episodes here in the 3 lower tiers. But I'll allow it. Okay, whatever. Anything goes. I suppose the proof will be in the pudding if we do more of these, and we'll see how it compares. So let us know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. I will link the
if we're wrong
as well. Yes, let us know all the stuff that we got wrong, and yeah, all of your criticisms, all of your complaints. Drop them below. Maybe we'll read them. Maybe we won't. maybe we'll just run off or ignore them or delete them.
Run off and cry.
Mark them as spam. But yeah, let us know your rankings, your favourites, your least favourites. Which Doctor should we do next? I suppose that'll be somewhat determined by Joe's costumes, perhaps, but we'll see. we'll see. It's been good fun. I'm glad we're doing this. It's
indifferent.
Yeah, it's nice to do a tier list. Hopefully it does well. But yeah, time will tell.
Bye-bye.
It always does. Bye-bye, Geronimo. That was awful. Geronimo.
Oh, blimey.
Hang on, I can do the NAF closed sculpt sonic screwdriver, which I paid
yes.
actual money for.
If you've ever wanted to see what a budget version of this versus the actual thing looks like.
Oh gosh.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.